Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Milton here to do the movie review. This time I'm reviewing the film The Incredible Hulk. This movie was released June 2008 and it's directed by Leterrier. I want to say that's correct. Looking at my notes, Leterrier. And this is the second official Marvel Cinematic Universe film after Iron Man. This movie stars Edward Norton Jr., Liv Tyler, Tim Roth. Looking at my notes here. Tim Blake Nelson, Ty Burrell, and William Hurt. And William Hurt we just saw recently as Thunderbolt Ross in Captain America Civil War. So you know now this is connected. So this is Edward Norton Jr.'s debut in the cinematic universe. He plays David Banner, Bruce Banner, David's his father. Bruce Banner in the Incredible Hulk film. Kevin Feige is back as the producer. And this takes place, I want to say, a couple months after Iron Man. And pretty much the story is you see a quick intro of how Bruce got his powers, how he was, we all know the story. He is a scientist working in the lab with Betty Ross, played by Liv Tyler. He's trying to stop a gamma radiation. He gets caught up in the blast. Boom, it triggers something in his body. He becomes a Hulk, pretty much. And that's something I liked about this film, and I'll get to my positives, but they do a great job of telling that story. So here are my positives and negatives about this movie. The intro. Sometimes you don't need to re-explain an intro story in a half an hour. You can just do it in a quick 5 minutes, slideshow or just quick flashbacks. And that's what this movie does. Kevin Feige and his team and Lewis does a great job of just telling a quick story of how Bruce got his powers, how he pretty much was on the run, how he isolated himself because he didn't want to expose anyone else to this curse, and he didn't want to hurt anyone else. You can clearly see in the first 5 minutes of the film what damage was done. And I love that about this film. You didn't need to re-explain the story. We had Ang Lee's Hulk in 2003, I believe, which wasn't a great film. It wasn't a trashy film. It wasn't executed well. And they told that story already. We already know that story. And Hulk's a hard character to do on film. So I'm happy that they did it this way. So that was cool to see that. Next positive, Edward Norton Jr. I really love Edward Norton Jr. as an actor. He's one of the best actors in the world. He brings it every time he's doing something. He's not phoning it in. He does a great job at really fleshing out who Bruce is as a character. Such Bruce's struggle as the Hulk, how he tries to maintain that monster because he knows he can take it too far. He can't control it all of a sudden. And you just see him training throughout the movie, which is cool. Working on his breathing, how he has a watch with him, and how he wants to maintain his heart rate. It was just cool seeing that. It was cool to see the Bruce Banner character because, it's easy just to watch Hulk and be like, oh, yeah, this is Hulk's movie, fuck yeah, blah, blah, blah. But the real story is seeing Bruce Banner and his struggle as the Hulk and seeing those two clash because they really are two different people in one person's body, So it was cool to see that. Liv Tyler, great actress. She's very beautiful to watch. I love seeing her on screen. Does a great, Betty Ross impression. Or interpretation, excuse me, but she does get annoying at one point. I'll tell you that later. Ty Burrell, the father from Modern Family, he's in the movie just enough. He's not in a lot, but he's actually serious in this film, which is cool. William Hurt plays Thunderbolt Ross. He was cool because he was that hard-ass, general who wants to kill Bruce, or not kill Bruce, but take him back, get the power from him, because he was really trying to unlock the super soldier serum. That's pretty much the story woven into this movie. He was trying to unlock the super soldier serum, and it didn't work out for him. And then he eventually used the super soldier serum on Tim Roth's character, who becomes the Abomination. And I'm gonna segue into that. The Abomination was pretty cool in this movie. I loved seeing the Abomination. I love Tim Roth as an actor. He does a great job playing the Abomination. And that fight at the end between the Hulk and the Abomination was fucking tits. Like, just seeing Hulk just go ham, seeing how angry and aggressive he is, seeing the Abomination talk shit and just kick ass. And just, the best part about that fight was towards the end where Hulk looked like he's losing. And he takes, this big-ass chain link, wraps it around the Abomination's neck, and starts choking the life out of him. I mean, about to kill him, and Betty Ross is like, no! And, you see the Hulk just stop. And you see that's Bruce now. Bruce is like, oh shit, like, I'm about to kill this thing. Like, I shouldn't do it. And it was cool to see that. And it was cool to see how Bruce can and how Hulk can really take it to another level. So I really enjoyed that. So my negatives, though, there are a couple in this movie. Like I mentioned, Liv Tyler as Betty Ross. Even though I liked her a lot, there were some points where I didn't like her. Where how she talked annoyed me. Like, she go, Bruce, like just so annoying as fuck. I'm like, all right, that's enough of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like I said, it was stupid. I didn't like what's his name? Tim Blake Nelson. I forget what his name was. He was a scientist that was communicating with Bruce throughout the movie, and he was trying to help him cure himself. I didn't like him when we actually got to meet him because he was kind of weird and a little psychotic to me. And then, spoiler alert, this movie's been out forever, but pretty much what happens to him, he falls, some of the Bruce, serum gets on him, and his brain starts growing, and he's about to transform into, what's his name? I forget I think he's called the Leader. He's about to transform into the Leader. But they don't really touch on to that story. They kind of ended that way. And I was kind of upset by that because he's another possible villain that could be good in this universe, but they haven't touched on him yet. I don't know what happened to him. Hopefully they go back to that eventually. So what is what it is. Another negative, I think, has to be some of the story points. Some of the story points were kind of a little confusing to me, but again, it is what it is. No story's perfect. But like I said, some of the storylines could have been tightened up and hashed up a little bit. But yeah, I pretty much enjoy this film, and I'm gonna grade this as on point. This movie's it's on point, man. This is the best Hulk film that's been done, and there hasn't been many, but this has been a good one, and I'm hoping to look forward to the next Hulk movie. There are rumors that they might make a Planet Hulk film. Let's hope. You know what I'm saying? Let's hope, because I want to see Mark Ruffalo take on the role of having a single film himself. Now he will portray the character. And we all know, speaking of Mark Ruffalo took over the role of Hulk Bruce Banner when Edward Norton Jr., was released or dropped out of being a Hulk, which is another story for another day. But yeah, I like this film. I love the visual effects. I love, Edward Norton Jr., Thunderbolt Ross. I loved everybody for the most part. I really enjoyed this film. Again, this movie's on point. I can't really say anything else about it. So there you have it, folks. My review of The Incredible Hulk. Have you seen it? Are you going to see it? Let me know. Let's talk about this. Keep the conversation going. Look for my review of the next Marvel Cinematic Universe film, which I believe is Iron Man 2. I'll probably do that next week. So like I always say, comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.
What up? Hey, shawty, what it is? What up? Hey, shawty, what it is? What up? Hey, shawty, what it is? Little buddy, what you on? Some violent shit. Two-stepping late.